Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Geek Vault podcast. We've been gone for a while, but we're back today, and we have a very important subject to talk about. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Matt.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Dan. How you doing? Happy New Year. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How you doing?
Happy New Year. It's good. It's good to be back. It's good to actually be doing the podcast again, I must say.
Yeah, and if you've not noticed, if you're on YouTube or watching us on Facebook somewhere, we're actually live-ish.
Yeah. We're recording. We got videos. We're doing something new.
Yeah,
so for the first Geek Vault that we're coming back with.
Yeah, we're going to try and see video podcasts for the future and maybe live ones, depending on how well this goes.
Yeah, one thing that I'm quite thankful for the podcast is that we get to trim ourselves and tidy ourselves up a little bit to look better. If we do it live, there's no messing up. That we got to do it right.
Yeah, so, there's no the amount of mistakes I make alone. There's no going back.
Yeah, a lot of fun in the post production room at the end, but we might go that way, and this is the first step to it. It's just good to be back doing the podcast again.
I know.
There's so much stuff over the last year that we just haven't fucking just gush out.
I know. Cinemas reopened fully. So many films came out. So many TV shows. Everything. I've just missed talking to you about it, man.
Me too. I mean, we catch up. We've been chatting pretty much movies only exclusively all year anyway.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't been recording it, and now we're recording it. Because we got some thoughts about some new movies, some movies that came out this year that we really want to get out there and really want to share with our wonderful people.
And there's a big movie that I really want to talk about, and I know you want to talk about it too.
It's the reason we're here.
Yeah, it's what brought us back together. Of course, that film is Spider-Man: No Way Home, which came out a couple of weeks ago. I've already seen it twice. How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it 3 times.
3 times. I'm so jealous.
It's a good movie, man. It was weird because I didn't think a lot of it, honestly, when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I thought this was it's okay. And then the more times I watched it, the more... I'll get into why I thought that the first time I watched it later, but it was really weird. And man, I just love it. It's grown on me really a lot since.
Yeah, I think... Probably going to chuck a spoiler warning straight out the bat because we're going full blown spoilers. Like, if you have not seen the movie and you carry on listening, it's going to get spoiled.
Yeah, there's no way we can talk about this movie without spoiling it. So at that point, if you're listening to this, it's probably because you've... I would hope though. So just know that going in.
Yeah, but so I actually went to see the film on opening day, 10 a.m. I travelled an hour on the train to go and watch it in the IMAX cinema. It was so freaking worth it.
10 a.m. That is... Because, actually, you did tell me about that, and then I had the same idea to go the following day at 10 a.m. and go and see it at my cinema as well. I did have to get a train to go there.
Oh, man,
you went to the extra effort.
I mean, our cinema's all right. It will do for most films. But about an hour away on the train is an IMAX cinema, and I had to see this in IMAX because... Oh my God, I knew what was going to happen. I kind of knew what was going to happen. I knew that we were going to see the other Spider-Man in it, and I wanted to see that in all its glory.
Yeah, luckily for me, the IMAX cinema was literally a 3-minute walk down the road for me, so I got all of that juicy goodness without having to go far, and it was really nice. Although I made the mistake of when we went and watched Endgame in IMAX, we watched the Infinity War Endgame back to back.
Yeah.
My seat was really close to the screen, so it's huge in front of you, which looks amazing, and it's a huge spectacle. I bet you don't take in any information because it's all just it's so in your face. Yeah. So I did the same thing on my first screening at home, which I think is why I missed a lot of major beats of it, and I'm just loads of Spider-Man.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel like the first thing I want to talk about on this movie is freaking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in the film.
Are we going to skip straight to that?
I feel like, we could talk about the other stuff, but I feel like I want to get into the juicy stuff.
The only thing that matters. The only thing that
this is the thing, man, because all year we've heard oh, they're going to be in it. No, they're not going to be in it. Look at this photo. They're in it. No, that's been photoshopped.
Yeah, now it's all just lies.
Yep.
Just Andrew Garfield's been paid to lie constantly. God. But they're in it. And
that moment, man.
Wonderful.
I like... The moment when Ned... By the way, Ned knows magic?
Oh yeah, Ned knows magic as well. That was a weird thing they just threw it out of nowhere. The Hobgoblin knows magic now.
Yeah, but when he started like doing the freaking swirls and opening the portal, and you could see Spider-Man down the end, and I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Was I the only one who thought the Spider-Man looked a little bit weird when he opens the portal and you see Spider-Man in the dark alleyway bit? He looks like a Gmod character. Like the way he moves, runs towards the cameras with flubber-like, and then he jumps through the portal. He does the huge revelation. And he takes off the mask in like a really dramatic theater effect. Like, I'm Spider-Man, and I'm back, baby.
Mate, as soon as he turned around and you see those big white eyes, I was like, fuck, it's Garfield, it's Garfield. I was so certain it was Garfield.
And it was. I do like how they introduce him as well. It's like, because they're really skeptical of who they are. Obviously, with all these villains and stuff coming through, it's like, just prove you're Spider-Man. He just hangs off the ceiling with like his finger. That's not enough.
I freaking love that.
Those are not enough.
Crawl on the ceiling.
It's a good scene.
I love that Ned's mom gets him to get cobwebs off the ceiling.
Yeah, and then Tobey Maguire walks in.
Oh.
And then he just goes and opens another portal, or tries to, and it opens behind Ned, and out steps just a guy. It looks like a guy.
Yeah, that's just some guy. That's not Peter Parker.
Hey, what is this guy? And he just comes out, he's so nice. So nice. Like
man.
Ned's Nana, whatever, he just likes him, he's giving him a little wave. Oh, he's just so wholesome.
The first time I watched it, because I watched it in the IMAX, everyone went freaking crazy at that moment. And I couldn't hear shit, but like I was just like full of like, oh my god, it's actually there. They're both on the screen. But the second time, I welled up a bit. I was like, oh my god, why am I watering my eyes?
You do kind of well up. It's just nice to see him back again. It was
So
really
wholesome.
nice to see them all like battling and they like try and web each other. I like that they have like a little fight because I guess they don't know what's going on, and Toby webs Andrew Garfield's web shooter so he can't web him back.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's smart. That makes sense.
it was really cool.
And they touch on that later as well because they have all the discussions about. So you don't have any. What is it? These are the web cartridges. You don't have those. Just does it. It's like, oh, it just comes out of you. Yeah. They have all the banter about how it just comes out of his hand.
And they were like, really at one point, like questions like, oh, how does it work? Does it come out of other places?
Does it come out of anywhere else? Just the list, thankfully. As far as we know.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 4, maybe he discovers a new power.
But it was really good to see them on there. And it was just, it's just, I think like the way they brought them back as well worked perfectly as well. Because if we backtrack a bit, the beginning of the movie, I guess we should probably start from there, maybe.
About the movie. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I guess we should backtrack. I just went straight into the good shit.
Spider-Man No Way Home, it starts off exactly where Far From Home left off, and that's where Peter's identity is revealed to the world.
Oh.
And he jumps down, he's swinging MJ across the city, which is all really cool. I love the swinging at the beginning of this. It was very heavy and real.
Yeah,
like when they climb out of the sewer, and he just grabs her. Well. Yeah, the first person stuff and the GoPro kind of stuff. It all looks really good.
As soon as it starts, you're like you pick up from where you left off, and like everyone's just crowding him, and you know, there's that one woman who like tries to grab him, and then like he backs her off, and he's like, "Spider-Man just hit me." I was like, "Oh my god, that's society."
There's the Karen, yeah, and it's just like so. It is kind of a cool, I suppose, on what happens in like the real world. As to what would happen like that. A bit like that new Netflix movie.
Don't Look Up.
That's it. Yeah, Don't Look Up. I haven't seen it yet.
I watched it the other day.
It's supposed to have that same sort of theme to it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's an interesting film. It's definitely got that kind of theme that you mentioned in it.
I need to watch that. But this definitely goes for that feel as well, and it works really well. Yeah, he has like law problems, and they bring in his lawyer, which is the best scene in the movie.
That's so amazing. Because there was like trailers beforehand, and you could like see his suit, and I remember like googling his suit and then looking at the trailer, like trying to compare it. I was like, that's got to be Matt Murdock.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But he was still in the movie, just in a different scene.
Oh my god, that moment was so. Oh, when he catches the brick.
He catches the brick. He steps in the frame with his blind one. His blind one. Steps in the frame and he just sits down. He's like, boom, he's here. He's no messing around. He's just back into Matthew Murdock and he plays it to perfection. And yeah, he's like, I'm a really good lawyer. Because he catches a funny brick that comes through the window before Spider-Man catches. which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, that was a really good moment. And I love when he gets back to his apartment before that kicks off and he's like trying to like stop May from seeing the news, like webbing the blinds and stuff. That was just all really good.
Yeah, it all kind of flows naturally through all that point of the movie. They just kind of want to take time away. They try to get into MIT.
Yeah.
So trying to get into like I guess college, what would be our university. I guess how old is Peter Parker supposed to be now? Like
I don't know.
19 or something?
I have no
20?
idea when Americans go to college. It's so different to us.
I'm not entirely sure how old he's supposed to be now, but they're trying to get into MIT, and none of them can because of the controversy that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah, because everyone's saying that he killed Mysterio, and you've got like people that are like, I believe Mysterio in the film as well.
But the teachers, when he goes to the school,
when he goes back to the school,
goes to the school the next day, there's paparazzi everywhere. And he goes up, and there's 3 teachers are standing there like Spider-Man.
Look at this mural the students made. I helped.
Like, the caretaker's like, no, you made that. Students didn't make it. He's like, Mysterio's real.
Yeah, I believe Mysterio.
The public perception is quite decent. Although I feel like the truth would get out so fast.
Yeah,
like about who Mysterio was and the actual lie about it. I think like that they do kind of do that in the way that they use off all of the law problems that Peter's supposedly going to have.
Yeah,
he says, yeah, you don't worry about your legal troubles. Turns out you're not going to deal with them.
Yeah,
they forget about that.
Yeah, it's quite quickly resolved, that bit. But then I guess it might be resolved, but everyone knows who he is now, and his life is like completely changed.
Yeah. So I was closing my window. It was real noisy in the background. How wonderful! Our first podcast back. But it all works really well. It goes naturally all through that movie until it gets strange because he has the idea. They haven't got into MIT. They see the little Halloween thing on the
the little Halloween decoration.
Which they excuse as well as like haven't taken the Halloween decorations down. Oh, okay. Well, that's the reason why he's experiencing this.
It's like it is essentially like a knockoff Doctor Strange toy. Like,
yeah, it is odd. It's interesting actually how Doctor Strange isn't the Sorcerer Supreme anymore.
Yeah, that was I didn't expect that, to be honest. That kind of explains why Wong has been appearing a little bit more lately.
Yeah, we saw him in like Shang-Chi. We've seen him like bits and pieces sort of in the background here. So it explains why we're seeing more of him. Although it does make me think that if Doctor Strange was still the Sorcerer Supreme, would he be fighting Abomination?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I love how, like, he's like, oh, we could use this spell, it's fine. And Wong's like, don't use that spell. It's like, do you remember your birthday party? No.
Although that scene is different in the trailers. In the trailers for the movie, there's a lot of dialogue and lines that he's like, don't cast that spell. But in the end, in the movie, he's more like, yeah, okay, go on then, do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything
Don't
about
blame me for this.
Yeah, it plays off slightly differently. And then, of course, they screw up the spell.
Yep.
I thought the detailing of how they visualize the spell and see how the spell would go wrong in terms of like ring and just keep piling and piling until it's a good way to illustrate how the spell would visually.
Because
so
each time he makes a change, he adds a new ring, doesn't he? I thought that was quite cool.
It works really nicely. And then it cocks out. And I like the idea as well that he kicks him out because he didn't even think to phone MIT.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean,
see if he can get into the uni rather than like brainwash the world so people forget you're Spider-Man. Just back in. Okay.
Yeah, he goes to the extreme method first. Do you think if he'd have thought, maybe calling university and having a chat, plot averted?
No, it all works really nicely, and then you get into the bulk of the movie, which is introducing the villains.
Oh,
you have all the villains are back.
Doc Ock. Oh, that moment when he comes out, that was just. I went back and rewatched all the Spider-Man film after this, and I rewatched Spider-Man 2 the other day, and I forgot how incredible Alfred Molina is as Doc Ock. And it's been how many years? He's still the same. He brings back that same energy. It's
been almost 20 years, and they all just come back with just exactly how they were back 20 years ago. It's like William Dafoe comes in as the Goblin, and oh my god, he's so good.
William Dafoe finds a new level in this film.
Him and Andrew Garfield both just fall back into their roles like butter. It's like
Yeah.
so good. He's so good. Has the balance between Goblin and Norman Osborn,
Yeah.
and like Andrew Garfield as Peter Spider-Man or whatever. They both just fall back into it so well. They do such a good job.
It's like they've not had a break. They've just carried on doing it day after day.
100%.
But it was really good to see Willem Dafoe back. And I think a really good addition to this movie is they destroyed his mask so you could actually see his facial expressions. And oh my God, that adds so much more layers to his character.
Yeah,
He's
that was
evil.
it was a wise choice to see him like cackling and smiling as like Tom Holland Spider-Man beating him in the face. Like it's so good as well for Marvel and MCU to have a villain that's not got like an understandable motive or some sort of reason behind him, or it's not relatable in any way. This is just evil incarnate, and he's beating the shit out of it. It's so good to watch.
Yeah, because we're jumping ahead again, of course. We're jumping all over the place, but there's a moment where, you know, Peter Parker wants to try and save the villains. He catches them, and his plan is to save them. And he has this really epic battle with Doctor Strange about it, really, because Strange was ready to send him back. But Peter, like our Peter in this universe, you know, he still believes in the good in people. And bless him, like, you know, he doesn't know who these people are, but you know, he's fought them, caught them. He's like, no, I still want to help you.
Yeah, he does a good job of like just. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I suppose, because the argument is the whole point of the movie is that they are drawn out and into this world because it's putting over all the people in the multiverse who know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that some villains in this not necessarily knowing Parker was Spider-Man. Like Electro, I don't think would know the Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I kind of read some theories online. It's like, oh, he was energy, so he must have heard it.
Yeah, the theory that many pointed out to me is that in that whole final bite of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, like Gwen is just screaming Peter the whole time. He probably heard it. Just knows it.
Yeah.
And then so they have to bring him back, and then they have to cure them and send them back. Some of them die, and they know they're going to die, so they're just going to get sent back to die. So they're going to cure them and make them human again, but then they're just going to go back and die.
Yeah, that's kind of what, because like the moment Doc Ock comes back, he says that he had Peter in his arm, and like not long after that,
by the throat.
he had him by the throat, and he knew who he was. But already then, the machine, the sunlight, the palm of his hand thing is already going berserk.
So yeah, that's the moment in that movie where he's got him at the throat and he takes off his mask, like Doc, and he's like, "Oh, it's Peter." And at that moment, he gets snapped into this world. Also, they when they bring him in, he's de-aged for a little bit, but that de-aging just seems to disappear like halfway through that scene on the bridge. Did you notice that?
To be honest, I didn't really notice it. I just thought he looked, because I remember them saying that they did actually de-age him, but I do get what you mean. Like part of him throughout the film didn't look the same youngness as he was in Spider-Man 2.
Because it was weird, because we were throwing around theories when the trailer came out, thinking maybe there's two Doc Ocks. Maybe this is like a Doc Ock from a different universe where it was the same Tobey Maguire films all the way up to that point. Maybe instead Doc Ock 1 or something.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the same Doc Ock who's de-aged in one shot. Hello, Peter shot, and every other shot like that in sequence. It's just normal. And then for the rest of the movie, it's just normal Alfred Molina. Which is strange, but I'll give it credit. It's like, yeah, the continuity. You have to understand, you accept that this movie doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think if you spend
rules and time, all that kind of stuff, because even at the later in the movie, they show a gravestone, and there's a purpose for flowers, like purposefully like blocking the dates of the flowers. So I think they're just going to hell with it, and saying, you know what, doesn't matter the details, just roll with it.
Yeah, because I think if you spend a little bit too long trying to think about, you know, the spells and where people have come from, you're going to definitely find threads and all sorts that don't make sense. But for what it is, you know, I still really enjoyed it. Even if you do try and think about that, it's still a really good film.
It's just the first time I watched it. See, these were the thoughts that I had the first time I watched it, and they didn't come across as kind of fun things. Then they came across. This movie seems to be going for more quips and more jokes. It's more about these fun little character interactions than it is about any kind of heart or tone or story. but that's not the case. Especially when rewatching it, you're like, this has got a lot of those character interactions in the same kind of sense that Endgame. But behind this, you do realize there is a deep story to Peter Parker and what he loses in this movie and what he has to understand to make the choice in order to try and get some of it back. Like
Yeah.
there is some weight to all of that, but it's doing all of that with the decoration of his old character. Hey, look at banner. It does feel like this movie shifts in tone all over the place from super dramatic to super funny because of that.
I think
But
the tone's
as a whole,
quite
it
light
works.
at first, but I think when it starts to get really dark is when they're all in the flat and he's trying to fix them, and that's when you get like a real tonal shift in this series, because the other two films have been quite fun. You know, he's going through school, going on trips. This is like the film that essentially makes Peter Parker, I think, be Spider-Man.
Which is, yeah, it's annoying because it's just an origin story again, isn't it?
It's an origin story told differently, though.
We've had 6 movies of Spider-Man origin story that he's been in. Because at this point, he is now like at this point of where, like, if you play the Spider-Man PS4 games, this is like the point where he starts out in those games. He's now at he started at that point going into these movies, which I like. I like the new suit that he's got at the end.
Yeah.
It looks sweet. It's like blue. It's like it's all much more comic booky, much more bright and like materialistic.
Yeah,
It's
the
really
blue's
nice.
very kind of reflective as well.
Yeah, it's really shiny and stuff. I heard there were theories floating about as to why he had to make his own suit, and that's because of what has to happen at the end of the movie. Because Doctor Strange has to cast a spell and make the world forget that he's Spider-Man, and it's the only way to stop all these different multiverse creatures from coming into this world.
Yeah.
And it's because the Iron Man tech wouldn't recognize him, so he has to make his own suit. So he wouldn't be able to use his like Iron Man spider suit or anything like that again. That's a cool.
Yeah, he really lost a lot in this movie, Peter. Like from the death of Aunt May, which I did not see coming. That blindsided me. That broke me in the cinema.
You don't see it coming. To be
No.
fair, it does kind of come out of nowhere.
I didn't expect them to kill May this film. But when that glider hits her, I was like, "There's no way she's surviving that."
Yeah, I thought it was stupid as well. It's like hits her, and she just bounces off of it. Because I was thought it was going to be like Spider-Man, like Goblin would. That would be really cool, but they don't. She just bounces away from it, and then she gets exploded because Goblin throws a bomb at her, and then she gets up and is fine before Spider-Man.
I just need to catch my breath. I just got to catch my breath, Peter.
It annoyed me that she got up before Spider-Man did. Like she's the human here.
Yeah.
And then she falls down. It is tragic actually.
That is the.
But he's just holding on, and he's like he doesn't want to leave so much so that he gets shot, and he still doesn't really want to leave.
Yeah, that broke me, that part. I didn't see that coming at all, and that's like the big tonal shift in the film is like from that point. You know, we're into a different kind of Peter Parker now. He's lost Tony Stark beforehand, but losing May is the kicker. It's the Uncle Ben moment.
Yeah, it goes more into like a mature angle, I suppose, for Spider-Man in this movie, and it works. I hope that it seems like that is going to be the take that they go on in the future.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is going to be the way, but it looks good. It looks ideal. It looks like it's going to be a good future going ahead.
Oh god, I can't wait to see what they do next, because he's on his own now. He's living in his flat on his own. He's got no one. He is on his own.
It's pizza time.
So depressing.
He's gonna have to get a pizza job. And he's gonna have to
pizza
pay rent. He's gonna be just running out in his flat doing homework, trying to build a Lego Death Star.
Oh my god! Did you notice he still had Darth Sidious?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my god! And the sewing machine.
And I noticed only in the third time that I watched it that when you go to Happy's apartment, it's Dummy is the droid from Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
At the table, and he knocks over the Lego Death Star and breaks. That's why it has all the pieces, and that's why Electro in the late movie is like, I have a question. Are these your Legos?
Fun fact, actually, you know, there's a Death Star in all 3 of the films, right? In Homecoming, the Death Star gets destroyed. In Far From Home, it doesn't get destroyed. They're building it, and then in No Way Home, it gets destroyed again, as per the Star Wars trilogy.
Are they building it in Far From Home?
They start. I'm pretty sure they start. I can't remember. Oh, it's either built or they start building it.
Okay, so because it might be like in the fifth Star Wars movie in Empire, you don't see the Death Star, so it's not in Far From Home.
Ah,
And
well,
then it appears in the later one, like half broken.
I know they
half
start
destroyed.
building it at one point, but
Yeah, they must do.
similarities. But I think one of my favourite parts of the film, apart from all three Spider-Man teaming up together, is Willem Dafoe's performance and that moment in the apartment where Peter's Spidey sense kicks in, and you can kind of like you go into like his mind. You feel like you're in his shoes, trying to like think who's wrong and what's happening.
He's gotten really good at his spider sense, by the way, really quickly. Because this is like right after the Far From Home Mysterio. It's OP. Like, it's really good compared to what we've seen the Spider Sense doing. And it works really well. And that whole fight is so good. The way he just, Goblin takes him and just decks him through, like, floor after floor after floor in the building. It's so good.
It works so well. It's so brutal as well. Like, you know, I don't think he's had many kind of, like, fisticuff fights much in the other films.
No, I don't think so. No, not really. Because most of...
Because he had
like,
Vulture in the first film.
Yeah, Vulture's like flying about. He's not really punching. He's more webbing them up and stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
When he's fighting goons and stuff, he's usually like webbing them up and taking them from a distance. But it's nice to see him just go brawler, just go bam on it. It feels really good when he's like he does almost like his head between his legs, starts punching him, and that's when he just like and he's hitting that. It's really good.
It's so good. And to be honest, if they made this film an extra half an hour and added an extra half an hour of Tom, Toby, and Andrew, I'd love it. I'd eat it up.
Just have them bantering because they do a lot of that.
Yeah,
banter.
I feel like I wanted more.
I think I wanted more as well because I found there were loads of characters bantering in this film. I really liked, weirdly, Electro and Sandman worked really well together.
Yeah,
like banter and bounce off of each other because they expanded them in this movie. Obviously, Electro. Huge makeover.
Yeah.
And they address that in the movie, but they also gloss over like how it happens. The lizard, Doc Connors is in this as the lizard.
Yeah.
It's like this talking dinosaur, effectively. It's like, oh, you had a makeover? I could turn you into a lizard and give you a real makeover. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't explain how he got the makeover, but I guess it explains.
Yeah. I think it's because Electro follows the energy in the universe, and I remember him talking about the energy, like, oh, this is new.
They do use that to like explain how he comes back at the end. It's like, oh, I do like that, like the frequency of the world or the electricity different to him. It's really cool. That I do like it.
Yeah. So, what do you have a favorite moment of the movie?
My favorite moment of the movie? I don't know. I'm not sure what my favorite moment is. But immediately I'd go to Daredevil. Honestly, the Daredevil moment is up there. And I really like that Green Goblin fight scene through the flat.
Yeah.
And I really like the banter. I really like the scientist scene where it's all three Spider-Men in the science room.
Yeah.
And they're like figuring out how to cure all the respective villains. And they keep going. They're obviously go to their more fields. Like Andrew Garfield has like the scientist ones. He's in his lab coat thing. He's like, yeah, I can whip a cure for buddy.
I've already done it before.
I really like that scene. Yeah, it's really good to see him all bantering. Bouncing. That's a really good scene as well.
Yeah. Oh god, I just love them like talking to each other. It's so wholesome and so pure.
Mm.
I love the bit. I really enjoy the scene where Andrew Garfield cracks Tobey Maguire's back.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I just got to stretch the back out. It's like, oh yeah, mine's like that too. You want me to crack it? And it was just like so wholesome.
Yeah,
and
it's so charismatic. It really works.
Freaking loved Andrew Garfield. Like you said earlier, he's not left that role. Even though he's an older, you can tell that his Spider-Man's he's grown up a bit. He's grown up a bit bitter from Gwen's death. And that really shows, and I really like that.
I really like they mention it as well earlier in the movie that he's sort of had a bit of a evolution beyond like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like he lost Gwen and he ended up getting really dark and he stopped pulling his punches.
Yeah.
And it's like I like that idea, especially since that version of Spider-Man started off quite Amazing Spider-Man and he continued after that. That would be really cool. I think that's a reason why everyone's, because he worked so well in this movie. He came back with that people just want to see that, but they didn't do anything with Tobey's Spider-Man
Yeah.
to imply that he's done a lot of stuff after Spider-Man 3, and I think that apparently that was a lot of decision. He didn't want anything to be added beyond.
Yeah. It was quite vague with
Yeah.
like what he talked about. Like, you know, he kind of mentioned that he got the girl, so he got MJ. But apart from that, you don't really find anything new about him.
But Andrew Garfield's one really does get evolved more, and he works so well. He's so charismatic. You can tell he loves being Spider-Man. He's just happy to be back.
Oh my god! Every day I look into Twitter, it's the Amazing Spider-Man 3. It like they are trying hard. There are a lot of fans who want to see that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think this is the last time we'll see Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man? I don't think so. I think he could be back in the future.
I honestly don't know, really, because he's doing so many like great independent stuff. I watched Tick Tick Boom recently on Netflix. It's so good. I watched it twice. It's the only Netflix movie I've watched twice. I watched it the first time, and it's a really good movie. Andrew Garfield kills it in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I don't know, because he's gone in such a great direction. Is he going to want to go back? I hope so. I hope so.
I just think like when he's playing Spider-Man in that film, like he oozes like so much, like you can tell he loves Spider-Man and he loves beating Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's done some great stuff. I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom yet, but that's on my list. But like he's done, you remember like Hacksaw Ridge? That's an incredible movie. He's such a versatile actor.
Yeah, I'm a sucker. He works so well for those ones. I guess I'm a sucker for like those sort of personal stories. Because I'd recommend Tick Tick Boom if you haven't. It's really good. You can see it on Netflix, and Andrew Garfield kills it in that. Just imagine Spider-Man the musical when it's and it's wonderful.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to touch on Spider-Man No Way Home. Is there anything else you kind of want to bring up or talk about?
I guess you could talk about that post-credit scene.
Oh, the Venom one. Oh my god, I had to like wait. There was a trailer at the end.
There was a trailer at the end where it showed off Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, which is all well and good. And it looks like you've got Wanda's kind of looks like evil Doctor Strange from the What If TV. Looks pretty interesting as well. Could be pretty good. You got more back. It all looks really interesting, but it's nothing compared to the fucking Venom post-credit scene where Tom Hardy's Venom is in this world for some reason.
Because have you seen Venom? Have you seen Venom 2 yet?
I know what happens in it. I've not seen it. I know enough about the movie to know I have not really watched it. I'm not interested, honestly.
Yeah, I went to the cinema to watch it. It's okay. It's Venom.
I've heard it's okay.
Yeah,
seen it. It's okay. I've seen the first Venom movie and I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it's still in the same league. It doesn't do anything different. But the end credit scene is they go on vacation and they get pulled into this universe, into the MCU universe in the hotel they're staying at. And the TV's on with the Daily Bugle, and you can see it's got Tom Holland's Spider-Man on there, and Venom licks the TV. So that's what you missed.
Yeah. It's really creepy. I have seen that post-credit scene. It's really freaking weird.
It's weird, isn't it? Why he licks it? Like...
Well, why? It's annoying how it even works in the first place. If this movie is set immediately, where and when does the TV footage come with Spider-Man not? How does that footage even exist to be on the TV for him to go? Like, what the fuck is like going on? It makes no sense. Post-credit in the context of this movie, why is he? And then he disappears, but a bit of Venom is left. But that doesn't. It doesn't make any sense, and it's such a obvious, like clutch at straw reason to get Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU.
Yeah, but he's only in there for like not even a day. Like he is literally there to learn about Thanos, to learn about the MCU, and then get zapped back to his universe.
The purple alien that's in the sky. He's going, this alien who looks stones.
You
No,
get me
'cause
there, it's
aliens
an
don't like
alien.
stones.
They like
They like to
heads.
go up your ass.
They don't like to go
like-
up your ass. They like to eat heads.
So he does. That's what he does in the Venom movie. And then he's got a Venom living up his ass. That's what he says. It's a weird movie.
He's essentially there to leave the tiniest bit of Symbionite in the universe.
Symbiote.
Symbionite.
And it's just this like black ooze that's crawling across the bar. And I guess that's what we're going to get for the next iteration. They're not doing that to not set up Venom and Spider-Man at some point, are they? But if they do that, are they going to have Tom Hardy? Is that little beast of Venom going to go? And then then that's going to be the Tom Hardy Venom in the MCU. I don't know what. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Venom in the future, like very soon. I feel like if they'll end up I think they'll end up doing another trilogy with Tom Holland, and he'll come in either like the end of number 2 or number 3, kind of like the original trilogy.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's really difficult to tell what's going to go on now because so much happened in this movie. Marvel always do a really good job of making like cliffhangers for you to see where the story's going to go off from this point. Because like I say, they duped us. It's basically an origin movie. So now everyone wants to see what's going to happen next. So they've managed to do a good job in saying like, we've got you excited for what's going to happen next. They do the same with all of the Disney Plus shows that came out this year. All end the season at a really good point to make you think, I wonder what happens next. And everybody wants to see what happens next. So Marvel will do a really good job of that. Annoyingly so. But it works.
It works. It does work. And I really can't wait to see what they've got coming up, because there's not really kind of like, I guess so far it's the multiverse, which is the theme of Phase 4, but no kind of, because I'm waiting for like a villain to reel its head like Thanos did. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I would assume that's going to be Kang at this point, because like they set Kang up in like the Loki TV show to be the sort of big bad. So I assume it's going to be him. I don't know how long it's going to get to that. People are also saying it could be Galactus.
Yeah,
there was another one going around that I can't remember what it was. MODOK, I think that was it. I think rumored to be MODOK at some point because they've got that MODOK show that's on Disney Plus. But God knows. Who knows? Who cares? We're gonna see what happens. Whatever they're going to do is going to be gold.
Yeah. I mean, this year we were really lucky. We got a hell of a lot of content. We've got 3 films and God knows how many TV shows.
We got,
Was it 3 films? Maybe 4 films, sorry.
No, it was Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and Black Widow, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no,
and Eternals, yeah.
You're right.
4 films,
Shit.
bloody hell.
It was 4 movies. Damn. One of them was good. No, Shang-Chi was really good. I enjoyed like the first half of Shang-Chi. Although the awesome. Eternals I didn't watch. I still haven't
You've not seen
watched
that
it.
yet?
Black Widow was okay.
I quite liked Eternals.
I haven't seen it. I've got no interest in watching Eternals, if I'm honest.
I think like the best film is Spider-Man No Way Home that's released this year. That's easily the best one.
Would you say is it your best Spider-Man movie?
You see, I've been thinking about that, and I don't think it is my best Spider-Man movie. As much as I love it, and I love how they brought back the villains and the Spider-Man from the past, and they did it really well, you know, not a nostalgia stuff, you know, is shoehorned in, and you don't, I never really like it, but this just felt right. But I don't think it's my favourite Spider-Man movie, at least from Tom Holland's. I think I prefer Homecoming over No Way Home.
Really?
I really like. I don't know what it is about Homecoming, but I really enjoyed that film. I love No Way Home, but I don't think it's the best. I'll watch it multiple times.
That's interesting because I've only ever thought about it in the context of, is it my best Spider-Man movie of all Spider-Man? Out of the Tom Holland ones, I don't actually know. Because I might be in the same boat thinking that Homecoming's the best one. I really like Far From Home because I love Mysterio. Mysterio is my favourite Spider-Man villain. So I do really like Far From Home, but the problem with Far From Home is a lot of the movie turns to the twist that, oh, he's actually evil.
Yeah.
It's like, we know he's evil. So a lot of the movie feels like, yeah, come on, we'll get to the point, So it's, upon rewatching, it's worse. Well, not worse, but harder to digest.
Yeah, I think Homecoming, I think it works so well because he does have Iron Man's help. You know, he does have, but he does. Tony Stark's basically a father scolding him half the time, and
Yeah.
he has to like really kind of find his own feet. You know, he had this crazy adventure with the Avengers in Civil War, and then he's plucked back into New York as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and you know he wants to do bigger things. And him chasing Vulture, you know, it's a really tough test for him. And honestly, I loved how it worked. I love the reveal of Michael Keaton Vulture being the girl he's got a crush on in school's dad. I love that worked so well.
And, you know, twigging as to that Peter Parker with Spider-Man in the car scene, it is really good. It is probably like out of the Tom Holland ones, the one that's more like just its own independent story. It's like Spider-Man versus Vulture, whereas apart from Home and No Way Home deal with the bigger picture, and these multiverse threats and the Avengers and this bigger world. And I think everyone kind of is in agreement, I think, at this point, that Spider-Man works best when he is solo and he's working independently, which is more so the case with Homecoming than any of the other ones, and is why people often nobody knows who he is, and he is completely secret, and he is a vigilante, I suppose. Everyone's out to get him. Like nobody, he has nobody in his life now, and people are excited to see what they do with that because that is Peter Parker that everybody knows. So yeah, I think I probably would agree. Out of the Tom Holland ones, I think Homecoming might be my favorite.
But yeah, I still love No Way Home. It's such a fun time, and I'll go watch it again. But if I was going to choose Spider-Man out of all the Spider-Man films we've got, I think that spot still belongs to Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, mine would either be Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse! Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's the oh my god.
Is the best. Like if we're talking live action movies and Spider-Man, if we're talking any movie which includes animation, Spider-Verse is by far the best one. The teaser thing they put out for Across the Spider-Verse, the new one. Oh man.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that. It looks good, doesn't it?
I love it. I love that. I love that you can just pause the movie at any point and it looks beautiful.
I
cannot wait for that.
And it's 2 parts as well, so we're getting 2 at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. I don't know like how I'd rate like all my Spider-Man movies, like because there's a lot of them. And I think like the top spots have real tough competition because like the top Spider-Man films I think are I think Spider-Man 2, Homecoming, Spider-Verse, and I think maybe No Way Home's up there as well.
I'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. I'd probably say Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, and surprisingly, upon rewatching it, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man. It was the same thing that I had when anyway, I went back to Man of Steel. I was like, oh man, I actually really enjoyed that movie. I felt the same way going back and watching the first, not the second one. That was still shit.
I've not got around to watching that one yet, but I did rewatch the first one as well, and I kind of love like Andrew Garfield just embodies like Peter Parker and Spider-Man so well.
Yeah, it works. If you go with that, if you just accept the idea that you're going for a darker Spider-Man, going for a darker story, and in the same way that they imply that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has continued past his movies.
Yeah.
If you accept that he is a dark Spider-Man, it works. It's actually quite compelling a story, and it works in terms of like conflict and because they dip more and more into like his parent stuff and that kind of his shit, especially in the second movie. But the first one works really nicely. If they kept with that, I think it would have been really good.
Yeah, I think like I can't remember the last time I watched the second one, but I think even from the trailer I knew that it wasn't going to be as good because I think the villain aspect is what I was worried about with No Way Home, and what they did wrong in Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is they had all these villains, but it just didn't blend well enough. It didn't kind of flow. But in No Way Home, it flows. They all get their little moments to shine. And even though Sandman and Lizard are in it, you know, they still have little moments.
Yeah, Sandman and Lizard are definitely the ones who are not given as much time as other villains.
Yeah.
But they are all given enough time to kind of stretch them out. It does help that they all have had their own movie effectively to flesh out each of their characters.
Yeah.
So it is difficult to look at this and because you can't watch this movie if you haven't seen the other Spider-Man films. If you're not caught up, like this movie does not make sense.
Yeah, you'll have no idea who these villains are and why they're here.
We were trying to explain it to Shoma because we both got back and we see the movie. We tried to explain it to Shoma what it's about, showing him like a scene near the end of the movie, and it was just impossible. He just kept asking questions. But if you try to forget about that, and just involve your characters, considering that Spider-Man goes out, he captures all these villains and takes them all in, kind of captures them, but then is kind of working with them, and they all have a chance to kind of connect with Spider-Man in their own way. Like Electro clearly doesn't like him very much.
Yeah.
Doc Ock doesn't like him and is turned around and is grateful when he gets the thing removed. Norman Osborn is like looking for help, so he goes to like Aunt May, and he kind of connects through her as well. So they all have some kind of tie to Spider-Man in their own little way, which adds a bit more of an emotional depth behind each one of the villains, so it makes it not, but that little bit more, especially for Doc Ock and especially for Green Goblin.
Sorry, I didn't catch. Can you say that again? I didn't catch that bit. You cut out there.
Especially for Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Can you hear me?
I did not hear anything you just said then.
Can you not hear me at all?
I can hear you now.
Oh, great. Typical. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I was just saying that Doc Ock and Green Goblin are fleshed out really well compared to everybody else.
Yeah,
But everybody else is fleshed out pretty fairly.
They're like the heavyweights of the film.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh god, I still can't get over like Willem Dafoe's cackle and like his faces he makes, like the faces he pulls. It's just incredible. And I don't know if you heard, but one of his one of his terms for coming back is he didn't want a cameo. He wanted to do his own stunts, and I'm like, fair play, mate. How incredible.
How old is he now?
He's got to be in his 60s or older. I have no idea.
I think he's like 70s or something like that, maybe.
Hold on.
Because he's really
66.
66. Okay. So he's getting there. He's still doing his own, still decking Spider-Man through an apartment building.
Oh.
Good job to him.
Do you know what? I'd love to see Willem Dafoe back as a Green Goblin, like as a different Green Goblin, because I'm just sad he's gone. Yeah, I'm just sad he's gone. Cool. Sorry, what was you saying there?
I was going to say, it's almost weird that with so much going on in this movie, we kind of gloss over the J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh god, yeah, he's in it quite a bit as well.
He comes in as like a nice little end scene in Far From Home, but he's actually in a character, I suppose, in this movie that has an impact. Just constantly belittling him. He turns up to his when Lizard breaks out of the back of the van. He's constantly chasing.
Yeah,
this works.
Again, he picks it up exactly from where he left off. It's like he's never left the role.
Yeah, it was perfect from it to start with.
Oh, it's just so good, honestly. It's such a good film. Like, I think if I was going to give it a rating, if you made me give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably go 8 out of 10. I think...
I'd do exactly the same. I'd go 8 out of 10. It is pretty spot on. And it's not the best Spider-Man movie ever, but it's a damn good time.
You'll have a good time. If you love Spider-Man, you'll love this. And it just kind of makes me want to go back. Like, I went back and watched all the Spider-Man films. I saw a Spider-Man comic. I was like, yep, I'm taking that. I'm going to read that. I want to play Spider-Man again. I want to play the video game again.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just really good. It's a love letter to Spider-Man. Really. Yeah. It's all about Spider-Man's legacy and what it kind of stands for. It's about Tom Holland's Spider-Man learning that, and it does a really good job.
It does a really good job, and it leaves it in a really good place because there's so much potential now, because he probably I can't see like the next one or like the next Avengers meetup having Spider-Man there, but that's okay because I want to see Spider-Man finding his own way again.
You can have him kind of integrate into the Avengers and try to earn their trust, I suppose. And whatever this new Avengers, I honestly don't know who it consists of at this point, or who's going to consist of.
Because a lot's going on, because you've got a lot of new characters turning up, especially in like the MC TV shows.
Yeah, and some of those TV shows are now leaking. the old TV shows are leaking into the universe, like obviously Daredevil and Kingpin. I don't know if
Kingpin.
you've seen
Oh
Hawkeye.
my god. I came out of the cinema, looked onto Twitter, thinking, you know what, like it'll be fine. I'm not going to get spoiled for Spider-Man, and I see Kingpin trending. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
You were spoiled for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, mate. I don't know if have you seen.
Oh, I'm so sorry you've cut out there, mate.
Have you seen Hawkeye today?
Yeah, I've watched all of Hawkeye. I had a good time with that, actually.
You notice at the end of Spider-Man, he's swinging over the ice rink and tree that they
Yeah.
fight at the end of Hawkeye. I thought that was really cool. I just had in my head, is Spider-Man just like a... not gonna do it. Not my problem.
Oh man, but yeah, I Hawkeye was another good show, that one I kind of enjoyed. I don't know if it like stuck the landing as well, but the episodes
Hawkeye...
beforehand, I think one of my main
Hawkeye...
problems. Sorry.
Sorry, go on, I'm interrupting you.
I was going to say, like, I think one of my main things with the majority of the MC TV shows is I've not really been that satisfied with the endings.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that. Because the one thing I had with Hawkeye was I really did not like Hawkeye for the first like 3 episodes. And then it slowly turned me around because I thought Kate Bishop's character was a bit more fun and interesting. But I think that's just a curse of all of the new Marvel going to like the Tony Stark school of quips. And they're all funny. And they're all happy all the time. And they're always quipping. There's no difference. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like Black Panther seems like a really serious character. If you look at Civil War, they're all very serious.
Yeah.
But none of those characters, when they're in an Avengers, keep that level of seriousness. They all become quippy. And all of the new ones are all quippy. Everyone's quippy in Hawkeye. Everyone's quippy in Shang-Chi. Everyone's quippy in Spider-Man. Everyone's quippy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Eternals.
It's a bit quippy.
Wash about it.
Yeah.
And it does annoy me. And it does. But they do all kind of start to merge with each other and feel they fall into that Marvel generic banner where none of them particularly feel very memorable.
Yeah.
And by the ending of them, nothing really stands out to keep you hooked.
Yeah. I think like they do have that because it's a winning formula for them because it makes them shit tons of money. But I would like to see them kind of maybe try and break that formula and try something different. You know, they can keep some I don't mind quips, you know, I don't mind it. I like a good laugh, but it's finding that right tone and balance.
Yeah, because what I find is they have a really good job. Like I said, Marvel, they have a really good job at building something up to make you excited to see what comes next. But then you realise you're not very excited about what you just saw. Like I can watch the entirety. When I was watching WandaVision, I was really excited to see where it would go, how it would do, and when it got to the end of one. And then I realised that none of the stuff that particularly happened excited me. It was always like the thought of what's to come, which is what I think Marvel does really well. That's why I say it's what they do really well, because other stuff seems to get washed. I think out of all the Disney Plus shows, my favourite one was probably Loki.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I lied. My favourite one was What If.
Yeah, I was going to say What If. I think I really enjoyed that one. Just because of
Loki's my second favourite. But yeah, What If was great.
I think just because of like the having like they don't have to like follow the rules of the universe that's already set. They can have their own fun and they can do what they want, and that really worked. Like I really enjoyed a lot of those episodes.
Yeah, they all can tell their own story, and they don't have to worry about having to deal with the consequences of that story later. So they can just go all out with it. So yeah, I really like the What If show. That's probably the best one out of them. And it's the only one I really enjoy looking forward to a season 2 of.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what they're going to do with the multiverse kind of catching up to the main universe now.
Yeah, because I don't know where it's supposed to be or what the continuity is anymore. Like I say, I think Marvel just kind of dropped it. They're not addressing like the year gaps or what time this is supposed to be in or how old people are. It's like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man. Look at him.
Yeah, I guess like that's the problem with like such an elaborate universe. Like it's still carrying on. Like they've completed the Infinity Saga, and it's still going.
I don't know where else you can go. with with this.
It's been good to talk about it, man. I freaking I'm a big Marvel fanboy wearing a Batman t-shirt.
The irony. I am. So I've got all my. I think almost every post on this wall, Marvel one.
I've got some Marvel ones over there. But it's just a good time to be a comic book fan, like, because we're still getting all this stuff. Like, this golden age is just continuing.
Yeah, it's still. I think it is ramping down a little because of like people not going to the cinema as often anymore, or you know, because we're getting loads of it. It feels oversaturated because I do definitely feel like it's oversaturated. Which is, I think, why I really enjoyed going back and watching Amazing Spider-Man, same as I did Man of Steel. I think because it was something different, and because people didn't like that at the time, and they wanted something in a particular way. That's now all we get.
Yeah,
The DC is a perfect example of that. How the DC movies have started off dark and gone progressive, and it is kind of the same stuff we're getting now. So I'm excited to see something that's slightly different.
To be fair, you mentioned DC Universe, and to be honest, the Snyder Cut, that tone was completely different to what we get. And DC opted for a fun-filled, you know, trying to be like the Avengers. And they did that, and it flopped. The Snyder Cut
was wonderful.
Exactly.
The Snyder Cut was great. I forget that the Snyder Cut came out this year. Like I was thinking about what, and then I remembered Snyder Cut came out. And pretty much everything after Snyder Cut is like what came out this year. And that was, it's weird because that movie still is a movie that doesn't really. Wait, did Snyder Cut come out this year?
Snyder Cut, yeah, it was March, I think.
It did come out this year. Yeah.
So long ago.
This
has been a long year.
Myself there. It has been a long year. I was second guessing myself, but yeah, it was a 4-hour epic of a movie. And there were so many other movies that have come out since that. They've been good and been bad, but that kind of set the benchmark, I think, for the year and for DC.
Yeah. Ah, man. Yeah. I haven't watched it again, but I would love to go back and rewatch it. But it is long, and it's like finding the time to watch it. But it doesn't detract from how different it was to compare to the stuff we get. And it's a shame that they decided not to go down that route.
We'll see what we get. Maybe they'll go down that route in the future somewhere else.
Well, we've got the Batman coming out next year, and I'm freaking excited for that.
Oh, yeah, they've released a new trailer for the Bat and the Cat.
It looks beautiful. It looks so, like, the visuals are, like, orgasmic.
Well,
for me, I mean, it looks really good.
It looks really good. It looks like the novel. Like if you read the Batman graphic novel, kind of sketchy art style, a bit like the Dark Knight, almost. It looks like that on film, and that bold sort of silhouette style. I do really like the look of it. I love visual. Fury Road is like one of my favorite movies just because it looks so good. So the visuals in this one look spot on. I can't wait to see it.
I think I kind of guess, like, maybe to wrap up the show, wrap up the year. We've talked a lot about Spider-Man today and Marvel. Of course, we knew that was going to happen.
Oh, we knew it was going to happen. It always gets out.
But maybe, like, moving away from that universe, do you have like a favorite film or a favorite TV show of 2020? We're in 21, yeah, 2021.
2021. I know, God forbid. That's a good question. I was trying to think. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking, what are the best and worst movies that came out this year? I was trying to remember just generally what movies came out this year.
It's really hard.
So many. I was trying to think of like obscures. We got Tick Tick Boom. That is up there.
I need to see that
right now. I'd watch it. Right now, that's probably up there with one of my favorite movies. Just to go with something that's, because it was close to being No Way Home. I think that's because it's so fresh and it's so Spider-Man filmed. But I think Tick Tick Boom is one of the ones that really surprised me. There's other stuff like I watched Chaos Walking, which was shit.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that.
Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves, the Zack Snyder ones.
Still not seen that.
Army of the Dead I saw. Army of Thieves was better. Honestly. And you got Eternals, you got Black Widow, you got Shang-Chi. You got all these different movies that came out this June. Which I did enjoy.
I wasn't really. I watched June, and when it came up with part 1 at the end, I was like, What?
That annoyed me. No, it came up at the start. It
Did
really
it?
annoyed me.
Oh.
Because I watched the 1980 Dune the night before I went and watched Dune, and it comes up saying Dune Part 1, and I know no, because I had a slight sense of I knew what like markers of the story were coming, what sort of big plot points, and then the movie ended. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, it
Where's the
ended.
rest of my movie?
It ended just as it was starting to get good. You go
Yeah.
like, I mean, I liked it, but just as you meet Zendaya and the people that they've been talking about this entire freaking film, it ends.
Zendaya's in the movie for like 20 minutes, and all the main cast bring in to get you sold on the film die.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac dies. Fucking other bloke, what's his name? Dies as well. It's Momoa.
Momoa, yep.
Yeah, everybody goes. But yeah, Dune was up there. I was trying to think. I don't know what my best like movie of the year or memorable movie is. Probably TV shows. Got stuff like Squid Game.
Squid Game, bloody hell, yeah.
Obviously. I still haven't seen the new Witcher season.
No, I've not
Witcher
even seen the
season 2.
first season yet.
Oh, mate, I've seen. You got to watch it. Season 1's great. I watched it twice now.
I'm just
And
going.
I haven't started season 2 yet.
I'm just going through my list. I've written down every film I've watched this year, and I'm trying to find new movies, but I'm like old movie, old movie, old movie. Here's one. I watched The Mitchells versus the Machines, another Netflix animation.
Oh,
I like that. Yeah, I think it was Netflix. It felt
It was the same. It was the same. Oh yeah. No, it was the same studio house that made Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
The same people who did Spider-Verse. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? I thought it was a good film.
I didn't like it. Me and Millie watched it. We were both like, "This is kind of." We almost turned it off.
There's Last Night in Soho. I really enjoyed that film. Edgar
I
Wright.
have not
You
seen
that?
Last Night in Soho. No.
Oh.
It was in cinemas for like 5 days. I swear, I missed it.
It was really limited, I think, because
really limited.
it was only on in Screen 5, and you know how terrible Screen 5 is. I was like, yeah, I'm going. I'm not missing it. Because I missed Scott Pilgrim versus the World came out in Andover, and it was Screen 5, and I was like, oh, I can't be asked for that. And I missed it, and it turns out it's like one of my most favourite films ever. So when Last Night in Soho was in Screen 5, I was like, I am seeing that.
I still haven't seen it. I need to watch it. I know that it's coming out on streaming. They announced that. When's it coming out on streaming? January 17th or something like that, I think. So soon. So I'm definitely going to watch it.
Very, very different to his other films, but it's still very, very good.
Because it's horror, isn't it? It's a horror.
It's like a horror thriller, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm sold on. So I'm like,
it's really well done.
Oh, good.
I think
keen to see that
TV show Squid Game. That was really my God, that was a mad show.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but I don't think it. I don't understand why it blew. I don't think it was amazing enough to justify the insane response it got.
It's crazy. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think one of my favorite TV shows this year. I don't know if you've watched it, but Ted Lasso.
Oh no, I haven't.
You need to watch it.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I've got this kid at work. Max will go on about this show non-stop. He only watches Ted Lasso and Gavin, and all he does is rant on about how good this show is. Not see. I know it's about football, so that you must love it.
It's about football, but it's not about football. Football was kind of like the plot device, you know. He comes over to manage. He's an American football coach who is hired to manage a football club.
Guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so wholesome. It's so good. I didn't get the hype on it, and I thought, you know what? I watched the first episode, and it just hooked me. And I'm Ted Lasso's biggest fan now. I can't wait for season 3.
Yeah, and you're gonna make me watch this show. This dipshit at work is going on about this show constantly. I was like, no, I don't want to watch a bloody.
I even got Gemma to watch it, and Gemma liked it as well. So like, it might be just because it's about football doesn't mean it's all about football. Like that's there. It's about the characters.
I'd have to give it a watch. It's on Apple TV or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is on Apple. I did have to get a 7-day free trial, binge it all, cancel the trial.
I had Apple TV for like a year and a half or something stupid, and I never used it. and now it's expired.
There is some
So,
stuff I want to check out on there, but like I don't want to get Apple TV.
yeah, the only thing I wanted to watch was C, which was that show with Jason Momoa,
Yeah, where
where
you
he's
can't
supposed to be like
see.
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the show's called C. So, anyway, but no, I haven't seen it.
Mm.
I can't think of any shows this year that I particularly enjoy. I think I've watched far more movies this year than I have TV shows.
Yeah. I guess it's been
Uh,
a movie kind of year. I'm trying to think of any other TV shows that came out. I know they made a Tiger King season 2, but I've not seen that yet.
I did watch that. It's terrible.
So I made the right decision not to watch it yet.
Yeah, it's. I suppose it's like the good thing about Tiger King season 1 is it just blew your mind because all these terrible people that have a show together.
Yeah.
And it's all this real life. But season 2 is more just like a recap of what has happened real life since that one came out and since what people have done in that show. Found Stardom with season 1. It's less about these crazy theories. It's more just like, oh, this is just filling in all those sort of little bits. Season 1, like what happened to Calabasas' husband.
I feel like they're just like cashing in.
An answer. But yeah, it's not great. We watched it in like an evening. We binged the entire season.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to watch it, but I kind of don't want to watch it.
A lot of things we watched and binged, like TV show wise, were stuff that when because we moved into this flat, and when we did that, we watched Mandalorian. We watched Witcher season 1 and all these TV shows. So I don't think we've watched a lot of TV, especially. But
So
movies, that's been like the main thing.
Boba Fett came out yesterday, the first episode. Have you watched that yet?
No.
No. Oh, Boba Fett is in it, by the way.
Well, yeah, I hope so. But no, I haven't seen it. I know the first episode. I'll watch it. Maybe I'll watch it when we're done.
I think like
you need to check it out.
Yeah, the first episode's okay. I'm not sure where this series is going to go, but it does answer like a certain question you might have about Boba Fett.
I don't have any questions about Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, you what like
Is that a question?
I don't want to like spoil it for you, but the first episode, like I watched the first episode, like, oh, okay, I know that now. Will I watch the rest? Probably, but I don't know. I'm not that excited for Matt. I'm not that excited for Boba Fett. Like,
that's the thing. When they let's say I know the episode came out, but I wasn't really in. Be far more excited to see the next episode of Mandalorian. I'm more invested in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, give us season 3 already.
Please. Whoa. Give me more Mandalorian, baby.
Oh my god, hold on.
Oh, that's where I got this as a Christmas gift for my sister, and it's wonderful. I love it. It's a little bobblehead of Mandalorian.
Gemma got me some socks this year.
Oh yeah.
Baby Grogu socks.
Oh nice, that's wonderful.
Oh.
That's how Christmas is for us. Us nerdy geeky. We love our little bit of merch.
I freaking love it.
Perfect way to end the year.
That's like the best way to like. If you don't know what to get a geek, get him something geeky, and he'll probably love it, or she, or them, or anyone.
Whoever they are.
10 out of 10, probably enjoy it.
Bit of plastic in a box shaped like a.
I know that looks so cool.
Genius. This was perfect. This was then one of those boxes. You don't know exactly what's going to be.
Like is it a Pop Funko?
No, it's not a Pop Funko. It's like that kind of style. It's like buying a Pop Funko, but not knowing which one you've got.
Right.
Yeah.
God, I remember when Pop Funkos were a big thing.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Now I have all these Pop Funkos in my room. I'm like, what do I do with them?
I've got one, and I've only got one Pop Funko. It's not even a Pop Funko. It's a Pop thing, but I don't think it's a Funko because it's like a material one. It's like a dead.
Yeah, that's not Pop Funko. That's like a big. Oh, he rotates.
He does rotate. He stands up. Oh, his belt fell off.
What? I thought you said his bell, and I was like,
no, his belt. Like, that's why he's got these little patches around him. But no, it's definitely a Pop thing. That's from different.
Well, I think maybe that's a good place to end the episode. It's been a good one, man.
Yeah, it's been good to be back and try this out again. Maybe we're awkward and terrible at it, or just
I mean,
better than we ever were.
yeah, honestly, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. And I know it's been a long time. I know we said we were going for a short break, but it became a mahoosive break.
Situations in the world happened and developed and
Yeah.
affected us in certain ways. And this is how we're doing it. There might be more video stuff. There might be more live stream stuff. There'll be more podcast stuff in general. So
Yeah.
follow us at all the things. It's been so long.
It's been a while. We've been very inactive on everything.
Geek Vault Pod on Twitter. We're at the Geek Vault on Facebook. Website.
Yeah. Geekvaultpodcast.com.
GeekVaultPodcast.com. It's all up and running now. It's perfect. So
Yeah.
visit us there. Message us. Tell us what your best and worst films of this year are. I'm curious.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
What's your top film and what's your worst film? If you had to pick one.
Yeah. So we do intend to we're not sure how many kind of episodes we're going to be doing in the future. We're going to try and do at least one a month starting from January. So easing back into it.
little bit. Oh, you made me laugh because you didn't hear. I think I cut out.
Oh, you cut out.
So doesn't matter. I guess we'll find out.
Technical issues.
Welcome back to the Geek Vibe. Well, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.